All right, so we're back here on a special edition of Couch Coach Live. We have our, I don't know if it's third or fourth annual mock draft, but we are here once again. As always, we had our guy Stu. What's going on, Stu?
What's up, man? What's up?
Not much. Our draft guy, the QB whisperer. So, so what we're gonna do tonight? We'll do our NFL mock draft. We'll do the first 16 picks of the NFL draft. So we'll start from Carolina and work our way to the Washington Commanders at 16. So we got a great show lined up for you. So what we're gonna do? We'll answer a lot of questions. Where would which quarter is will the quarterback be selected with Stu's pick with the Indianapolis Colts? Well, all four quarterbacks in this class will be drafted in this first 16 in our mock. We got a lot to unpack, so we got a great show lined up for you. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna keep that intro, and we will be right back. All right, we're back here on Couch Coach Live. Got our special guest, our guy, obviously from the Morning Brew, our guy Stu, and then also from Draft Capital NFL, and just pretty much the go-to when it comes to NFL draft, quarterback prospects, you name it. Stu covers it. So we got a great show lined for you for our mock picks 1 through 16. So Stu, you are on the clock. So,
Yeah, I don't think there's any question that
mhm.
as to who the number one pick is going to be. Not necessarily. Again, let me preface this. Not necessarily the pick I would make, but I don't think we understand. I think we all understand who the pick's going to be. It's going to be quarterback from Alabama. Bryce Young is the number one overall pick here for the Carolina Panthers.
Absolutely. Yep. So, my turn here with the Houston Texans. So, Stu, I'm gonna, you know what? In a weird way, I am going to be what I call devil's advocate when it comes to this type of thing. I'm gonna kind of shake it up a little bit. With the second pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select Will Anderson. So Alabama back to back.
Okay. All right.
It could. So it just happened. I want to give you a olive branch because we'll so with the third pick, who you got, Stu?
Well, since I have three, I'm not going to mess everything up with the graphics and everything. I was going to say since I have 3 and 4, I was going to trade this and move
We can.
Indianapolis up to 3. But
Okay.
I'll just keep it. I'll just keep it the way it is. And you took Will Anderson off the board. Arizona's going to take Tyree Wilson, the defensive end for the Texas Tech Red Raiders.
Yeah. So so here at so I see the blush. I see the smile on your face. I can't slap the smack. I can't even slap the smile off your face. With the fourth pick, what are your Indianapolis Colts are doing?
First, there's no way this happens, but because if this player falls to 3, somebody's trading up in front of us. If we don't trade up, it's CJ Stroud, quarterback, Ohio State. You get the best quarterback in the draft. You're rolling. You get everything going the way you want it to go. Obviously, you'd have to trade up to 3 to get him because I think somebody else would.
Yeah.
But Heck, if he falls to 4, it's CJ Stroud. And I'm taking 1 second off the clock, and I'm running this up there and taking that pick.
Yeah. So, with the 5th pick in the NFL draft, the Seattle Seahawks will select Jalen Carter, defensive tackle from the University of Georgia.
It's a good
It
pick.
is funny,
Good pick.
and I always think Pete Carroll is synonymous with drafting guys that I wouldn't necessarily say have character issues in a sense. I mean, obviously
They do.
it is a character issue in this, as far as what has transpired in these last few months. But I can see Pete Carroll taking a chance on him, and then him essentially excelling.
Yeah.
With this with the Seattle Seahawks.
Good pick. It's a good pick.
Yeah.
I could see this being a corner too, but I think Jalen Carter makes more sense.
Yeah, and that's the thing where so alluding to my next one, let's see, I have the Detroit Lions. And let's get that pick in. That's it. 6:15. And let's see, with that pick, I am going to select, where is it? Oh, shucks. I had it up. Okay, I had it up, but I do not. Let me give me 1 sec. All right, so with the 6th overall pick, the Detroit Lions select Devin Witherspoon, the cornerback from the University of Illinois, the toast of the town in Champaign, Illinois.
A little shocked here. I mean, he's my second corner, so it's not like you.
Mhm.
It's not like you took the 4th or 5th corner on the board. But
Right.
I'm shocked because I think the next guy that's going to come off the board is probably the pick here, but who knows? Maybe they love Devin Witherspoon. But they do need a corner with Jeffrey Okudah leaving. So
Yeah.
either way, either Devin Witherspoon or the guy that I'm about to select will be the pick here, probably.
Okay. All right. So with the 7th overall pick, the Las Vegas Raiders select.
Well, I mean, you need defense. Anytime you make a Sam Ellinger led or Matt Ryan led, coached by Jeff Saturday, Indianapolis Colts team, torch your secondary, you need defense. And so with the 7th overall pick, the Las Vegas Raiders are selecting corner from Oregon University, Christian Gonzalez.
All right.
And they need this pick too.
Absolutely.
Because their defense is trash. It has been for a while.
Okay. All right. So let's see. We're at the 8:34 mark. All right. So with the 8th pick in the NFL draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Paris Johnson from the Ohio State University.
It's a good pick, especially if you're going to roll with yeah. I mean,
with
if
T
you're going to
Hizzle.
roll
With T, I don't know what it's really Ritter. It's Ritter's team.
Yeah,
really,
if you're gonna roll
honestly.
with Ritter as your quarterback, then you need somebody to protect him. That's a good pick.
Yeah.
I like to pick.
All right. So the team that actually had the number 1 overall pick in this draft and traded to the Carolina Panthers. So with the 9th pick in the NFL draft, the Chicago Bears select.
I could go a lot of different ways here because I mean you were picking number 1 overall for a reason. This pick may not be popular because they just got DJ Moore, but when you have Chase Claypool, who spends more time doing TikTok dances with his buddy Juju Smith-Schuster than he does catching passes, and you really need help. You have a young Justin Fields. Maybe you could go offensive line here, but I think you take the best receiver in the draft and you get Jackson Smith-Njigba with the 9th overall pick. You give your guy another weapon. You give Fields Claypool. You give him DJ Moore, and you give him Jackson Smith and Jigba, and there really is no excuses now. Now you go figure it out and see if he's the guy.
Yeah, and now you think about just the fact of it actually adds to something to their trio already, where this is kind of would be a bona fide trio for this team, and I think
I
as we all know, huh?
Go ahead. I'll
Okay,
finish what I
good.
was going to say when you're done.
And me, you and I, as Commanders and Colts fans, you can't go wrong with an Ohio State wide receiver. So, you know,
No, as long as he stays healthy, unlike
yeah,
Paris Campbell.
unless Paris Campbell, yeah. But hey,
But
he was productive at the time.
yeah,
You know,
I here's the thing too. I think you can get a guy like you can get some. The question becomes like, where's DeJuan Jones from Ohio State going to go? Cody Mock from South
Mhm.
Dakota State. So you can get those guys in the second round as far as like all offensive linemen who are going to be productive. I just think, you can get those guys in the second round. They'll start for you probably day one, and you can get a guy in Jackson Smith and Jigba who will also start for you day one. And like I said, then you roll Justin Fields out there, and now there's no questions. It is go out there and do your job.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we got the 10th overall pick coming up that belongs to the Philadelphia Eagles. So, Stu, who you got picking at number 10?
Yeah, so we could go 100 different ways, but I was the first one to jump on this train, and I'm going to die on this train. Let me just say that. I've jumped on this train. I'm
Okay.
going to die on this train. They could go offensive lineman because, Kelsey may be retiring next year. They could go defensively because they're going to need somebody to go defensively. But I think they want to I think they want to stress your boy Ron Rivera out a little bit. I think they want to stress the defensive coordinator for Dallas out a little bit, and the defensive coordinator
Mhm.
for New York a little bit, and figure out how you're going to stop this read option with Jalen Hurts and Bijan Robinson. So the pick is Bijan
Ooh.
Robinson from Texas.
Ooh.
Listen, they lost Miles Sanders. That's 14. He had a career year with 1,400 yards rushing. All you've got is Kenneth Gamwell. I'm sorry, Kenneth Gamwell isn't scaring a high school team, yet alone an NFL team. You put Bijan Robinson back there, a guy who can be on the same caliber as a Jonathan Taylor or a Derrick Henry, and you partner that up with the best running quarterback in football. I think I'm scared. And you have AJ Brown and Devontae Smith and everybody. Like, I'm scared if I'm a defensive coordinator as to how I'm going to stop all these weapons.
Yeah, that's gonna
And
be
you can get your
frightening.
defensive end in the back half of the draft. Let's be real. Like, you can get a Will McDonald or somebody else at pick, what is it, like 28 or 29 that they have or whatever.
Yeah, and that's one thing too. Like, yeah, right. And this is wow. We got a running back in the top 10.
Listen, I don't do that
Yeah,
often.
it's been
Like,
a while, right?
I was really high on Kenneth Walker last year, and
Hmm.
I don't think I had my final mock draft. I don't think I had him going in the first round. I think I had him going second round. He was one of my favorite players in the draft.
Yeah.
This will be the rare year where I think you'll see two in the first round.
Mm.
You'll probably
Yeah.
see, if this happens here, you'll probably see Jahmyr Gibbs go to Buffalo at 23.
Yeah, and like you said, yeah, if he, and he's worthy of that selection. Like he is
Yeah.
he's gonna be what I used to deem back in the day, like your factor back. You know how it used to, that used to be like the term.
Yeah.
He's gonna be, yeah,
He's a top 8 guy in this draft. It's just like overall, he's a top 8 player. When I do my big board, he'll be in my top 8. No doubt. And that comes
for
out
sure.
Thursday morning. But the question becomes, is a team willing to do that for a running back? The position's kind of been devalued. It's not his fault. He's a top 10 player in this draft, but I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. So with the 11th overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Anthony Richardson,
Mm.
quarterback out of the University of Florida.
This is interesting. This is very interesting. I mean, it's a heck of a pick. I think but I think this goes to more of a thing of what I said last year, which I think them taking them in the third round. Like, let me say this:
Yeah.
if if this happens and they take Anthony Richardson in the first round, that tells you AR-15 is the guy for the future. Is what that tells you. So what that also tells you is everything I said about Malik Willis last year that everyone kept beating me up about and kept saying, well, look at the arm strength, look at the way he runs, all that kind of stuff is telling you I was right about Malik Willis last year. I mean, him getting drafted in the third round, anyways, tells you I was right about Malik Willis. But the point remains, I think at the end of the day, if they make this selection, I think it says more about what they have in house than they have than anything else. And this would be the team to do it. This would be I would hate this, but love this at the same time because I don't. If he goes to Tennessee, it gives me a little bit of comfort, but it also scares me because if he hits, this is the ultimate boomer bust player. Like if he hits, like they're going to be good for a decade. If he
Yeah.
misses, though, it's going to set the team back for a decade, and I can laugh at this team because I don't like them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All righty. So moving on along with the Tennessee Titans, the 12th pick in this draft belongs to the Houston Texans. Your AFC South brethrens. Who they gonna select?
All right, so you gave him Will Anderson with the second overall pick. That
Yeah.
means they still have a need there at that QB position. I think they're going to be too good next year to wind up getting Caleb Williams or Drake May. I think they'll probably win 4 or 5 games next year. Puts them out of reach for that. So I give them quarterback out of the University of Kentucky, Will Levis. You get your quarterback, you get your star
Ooh.
defensive end. Now go and try to win for a decade.
Yeah. And that's fair. And that's the thing with the Texans. They're in a good spot because hey, you necessarily don't have to reach for the stars for the quarterback at that position because there's probably some potential guys fall into your lap. How we have get like an impact play, you know, the rationale behind that. You look at just how the Texans have missed that presence, like the JJ Watt presence, Don Clowney, that type of mode of guys. So, and he's probably so you look at that where he can have that type of impact, immediate impact, and like you said, now coupled with Will Levis, you get a guy who now you're seeing a lot of people looking at him as maybe the number one overall pick. I know that's just some fodder because we all
And
know
that's nuts.
smoke and mirrors, right? But you know how to change.
Yeah.
But it just shows you kind of like how these days leading up to the draft and all the smoke screens that that we get. So so to get a guy that and most people, you know, aim at 12 would be a steal for them. And like you said, I necessarily don't think they would be in the sweepstakes next year to get the top two quarterbacks in his draft.
I don't think so because I think that they're getting John Mechie back from, thank God, likely getting him back from rehabbing from cancer. You had Damian Pierce last year. You brought, with your pick, you brought in Will Anderson. You're like, as long as they don't mess it up too bad in the second and third rounds, you're likely going to have some other players who can contribute. So I think you're going to win 4 or 5 games next year, and I think Caleb Williams is out of the mix. Do I have the 13th pick, or is it you?
Yeah, I have 13th pick. That's the Green Bay Packers. So with the 13th overall pick in the 2023 NFL draft, it's going to be I have Nolan Smith. they're desperate need of a linebacker, so I think he'll definitely fill that void. And this is a part of the Aaron Rodgers trade. So so obviously this was the pick
I
swap
I
with the Jets.
I think that's a good pick. I could also see this being kind of a screw you pick to Aaron Rodgers. And wouldn't it be funny if they drafted like a, a the Johnston kid, the wide receiver out of TCU, or Jordan Addison out of USC? Wouldn't it be hilarious
Yeah.
if they were kind of just like screw you and they took a wide receiver? Because
Or
that was the big thing. That was the big thing about
right.
all that, and then for them to wind up taking it the first time Jordan Love takes over, that'd be hilarious.
And first, I've been seeing a lot of mocks, like a lot of people linking him and Dalton Kincaid.
That'd be a good pick
So
too.
the
This is a
like you
very
talking about
talented
your
tight
the
end
wide receiver
class.
as well. That would be a good pick too. And like you said, and that would be a big F you, especially when it comes to wide receivers, because we've had so many rich wide receiver classes in like the last 3 years. It would be
Yeah,
wild.
it'd be crazy.
It would be wild. So you got the 14th pick, which is New England Patriots.
Man, with the 14th pick, I think they're going to take Quentin Johnston, wide receiver from TCU. You could go offensive line here. You could go defense here, but I think they're going to take Quentin Johnston from TCU. You give Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi, whoever it's going to wind up being, your, their big body wide receiver. You're kind of missing that talent there at the wide receiver position. You don't have that guy. I know Bill Belichick's missed on wide receivers in years past, but I think you take Quentin Johnston, you get the big body guy, you throw it up to him, and let's see how it works out.
Yeah. All right, Stu, and you're back on the clock with the New York Football Jets and the
Yeah,
Aaron
I
Rodgers
mean,
led New York Jets. This is the pick swap. What you got?
like you just said, they have Aaron Rodgers. I think you got to protect your asset. I think you go. I think he's still a tackle, but I think you go, well, they have a lot of good offensive line there, but Mekhi Becton, as much as I believed in him, I know a lot of people don't. I'll go Peter Skoronski from Northwestern. You can move him anywhere on the offensive line, tackle or guard if you want. I think he can fit both roles. So protect him even more, protect your guy, give him an offensive lineman, and you take Peter Skoronski.
Okay. All right. And the final pick of our mock draft is the Washington Commanders. And with the 16th pick in the NFL mock draft here, the Washington Commanders select Emmanuel Forbes. We need a cornerback desperately. A little bit of a reach, to say the least, but I think we need, especially now with the way the NFC East wide receivers are, and then just look at as how we have been as far as pass defense. We've been atrocious. I mean, you just look at now, you look at the strength of this team, of other teams in the division, when you have like a CD Lamb, you have an AJ Brown, you have legitimate number one wide receivers on these teams, well, except for the Giants, you know, here there as far as wide receiver wise, but they need someone, and obviously with him, he's a feast and famine type. I know a lot of scouts look at him as like a feast and famine type of corner. So I think we need that type of cornerback on our team. And I wonder. I'm still kind of looking at Joey Porter Jr. I know a lot of people was killing him about this performance at the combine, but to me, I just look at that type of situation. It's just like,
That would be my, like, if I was going to go corner here, the third corner off the
yeah,
board, I would take Joey Porter Jr. But there's a lot of people who, you know, and another guy who's moving up the board up there around your area is the kid out
yeah,
of Maryland, Deontay Banks, is getting a lot of
yeah,
talk of moving up draft boards as well. So he could be the pick as well. Emmanuel Forbes, I like him. I think he's got a lot of talent. I'm not as high on him as most scouts are. Some scouts have him as a first round pick. I have him as a late first, early second round pick. I just think he's a good guy, a good corner. I just think that the other guys that have him are better. But I do agree. I think they need corner here. Um,
Yeah.
I think too, maybe pass rush as well. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but maybe a guy like
Yeah.
Lucas Van Ness out of Iowa might be the pick as well.
Yeah. Now with Shaka Tony out, you need to kind of get that depth, and then when Mathis come back 100%. So that's the thing where will he be ready in time for week one? So yeah, I mean, and I think with defensive on that line, you really can't go wrong because especially the way this team has been like the last few years, where it's been injuries and rotating of that position. So to me, the depth is important. So yeah, and I think that really the most pressing need obviously is the cornerback position. But like you said, getting somebody on the defensive end, like on the D line, you need that. You definitely it's just you want to acquire that depth. I think to me it's almost like you really can't go wrong
Yeah,
stockpiling talent because like you said, because what's going to happen, you're not going to be able to sign everybody.
yeah.
So when it's time for like maybe Chase, or what do you do? So it's one of those things where it didn't Mathis. So it's like you already kind of short up Jonathan Allen and Payne. But not everybody, like I said, not everybody's going to be able to get those type of deals, now, especially on that defensive line.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think you partner him up with Chase Young, you Allen and Payne and everybody else. I mean, that defensive line's already scary, but you make it more scary. And just like I said with
Yeah,
the offensive line, you could get a corner, a really good Clark Phillips from Utah, guy I like very much. You can get in the second round. There's a kid coming out of Miami that everybody's been saying is moving him to boards to the second round. I like Cam Smith from South Carolina. I think he could be a first round pick, but I've been seeing him fall to the second round. So there's a lot of picks you can get. There's also a lot of defensive ends you can get. You get an Andre Smith back there. You could get a BJ
yeah,
Ojolari out of
yeah,
LSU back there. You can get a lot of guys in the second round. So I think either way, you could get that pass rusher, but I also think you can get a good corner as well.
for sure. Yeah, man. So draft, do we would be happy tonight to get shot literally falls into your lap, but like you said, and I guarantee, and I agree with your point where somebody's going to be desperate and give Arizona the Kings ransom for their third overall pick.
I don't think it happened. Maybe it does if it's Will Levis or if it's Anthony Richardson, but I am for those of you. I know Walker. I know Ken are the betting people. I can tell you this: if
Hmm.
CJ Stroud gets a pass number two, lay your money down on the fact that pick gets traded because they will not be picking at three. Arizona will not be picking at
Yeah,
three. Somebody for CJ Stroud will give up whatever's being asked to go get CJ Stroud.
yeah, because you look at even down this line, like these teams that are four on down will make that pick. Could away some assets in Arizona, and like you said, if you know, and you might can get Tyrese Wilson. Just give an example. If Las Vegas go up, he may still be available at 7. So, or somebody from or D lineman in the back that pressing need. So they still can get the guy they want, but get more assets and flip it for that. So, you know, I
Yeah,
think
I agree.
the party really starts in the draft is with Houston. So we shall see. Definitely appreciate So, all right, you hear me now, Stu? All
Yeah, I can hear you.
right, can you hear me now, Stu?
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
All right, can you hear me now, Stu? Guess not. So, oh, you can? Okay. All right, so
I
before
got
we
you.
head out, Stu, tell them where they can find you. Okay, so before we head out for the this mock draft, Stu, tell them where they can find you on social media and just plug away all your projects, what you got going on.
Yeah, my final mock draft comes out tomorrow or Wednesday, depending on when you're hearing this. My um, top 50 big board of the top 50 players will come out on Thursday morning or Thursday afternoon before the draft. Uh, that's pretty much it. I have a podcast coming out with Jay Stevens. We're both Colts fans. We'll kind of talk about, you know, what we see happening, those types of things, what we want to happen, all that kind of jazz. Um, you can find me on Twitter at Stu Morning or at StuPoc5, whichever one you want to do. Wherever your podcasts are found is where you can find the podcast. After the draft, I'm going to kind of reel it back a little bit as far as the NFL content goes. It's what I love doing. Don't get me wrong. I love the NFL, but I'm going to do some interviews, do different kinds of things, get prepared. Then I'm going on a vacation at the end of the month of May. After that, I'll come back and we're going to do the top 32 quarterbacks. That's the next big project. Do it every year. It's going to take up the entire month of June, and yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a fun one. I think figuring out who the top 32 quarterbacks were this year. When honestly, I think quarterback play across the board was down. Like obviously the top guys were the top guys, but that 15 to 25 or 32 mark is going to be hard to figure out because there were a lot of guys who didn't play great for a long stretch in the year last year. So, and then you got a lot of new guys like Sam Howell behind, the jersey hanging up behind you. Where do they fit in? All
Yeah.
these types of guys. So there's a lot of stuff to figure out. And I enjoy it. I love it. But I'm going to take a little bit of a vacation at the end of the month of May. I'm going to do some interviews throughout the month of May, try to get some more content, interesting content out there. And then we're going to reel into the top quarterbacks. And then I think we'll just do some more fun stuff. We'll have some different segments, some college football talk with Zach McKinnell coming up later this summer as well.
Yeah.
All that fun stuff. I can't let it go completely, but yeah, I'll take a vacation at the end of May, and after that, dude, we're coming back full steam ahead. Full steam ahead.
Yes, and please take that vacation and do not worry about football. Clear your mind.
Well,
Um,
a podcast will drop while I'm on vacation.
yeah,
It'll probably be an interview that I've already recorded. Hold on
yeah.
to. But the podcast will definitely drop at the end of May while I'm on vacation, so you're still getting content out. But any like new stuff, yeah, it ain't happening.
Hey, take your time and enjoy some time. But yeah, man. So this wraps up our 2023 mock draft where we did the top 16 picks of the draft. And man, live show tomorrow night on Couch Coach Live, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode. And once again, appreciate you, Stu, for coming on, and we'll catch you on the next episode. And we're
Thanks for having me.
out.